Bamidbar, ideas in the realm of Gematria from the Parshah and Daf Yomi for the Geulah. This is Article 15. Is a menorah complete without oil burning brightly in it? Is an olive tree complete without olives? In this week's Parshah of Bamidbar, along with our daily daf of Bamidbar 100b, which is Friday's daf, we can see an interesting parallel and the idea that they are both connected and separated in different ways. At the end of this Parsha, we are told about the Levitical clan of Kohath and their duties in the tabernacle. Among other holy vessels and items to carry, they were charged with the transport of the menorah that was in the Mishkan, the tabernacle. From the verses alone, it may seem a bit ambiguous at first glance, because immediately after the command to Kohath, the verse mentions Aaron and his sons. Right away there is something of a divide. The Torah says, tell the children of Kohath to do this, and then it says Aaron and his son should do this thing immediately afterwards. So right away we see a split. Rashi explains on the spot that the vessels were put into protective cloths by the sons of Aaron, and the sons of Kohath only need to carry them. See Rashi on verse 5 of chapter 4. Being that as it may, the pasuk states that the sons of Aaron shall take a blue cloth and cover the menorah for lighting, and its lamps, its tongs, and its scoops, and all its oil vessels used in performing its service. And then, in summation, the verse states, Aaron and his sons shall finish covering the holy and all the vessels of the holy when the camp is set to travel. And following that, the sons of Kohath shall come to carry them. But they shall not touch the sacred objects, for then they will die. These are the burden of the sons, or these are the burdens, or this is the burden of the sons of Kohath for the tent of meeting. Numbers 4:15. Although the sons of Kohath were charged with the carrying of menorah itself, the Torah made a divide, so to speak, a separation when it came to the oil itself, the oil of the menorah. This duty was given exclusively to Eleazar, the son of Aharon the priest, Aaron the Kohen. As we see, the verse says, Upekudas Eleazar ben Aaron the Kohen, Shemen ha-ma'or k'toras hasamim minchas ha-tamid, v'shemen ha-mishcha, bekudas kol ha-mishkan, v'kol asher bo b'kodesh u'v'chelav. The charge of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the Kohen, for lighting the incense of spices, the continual daily meal offering, and the anointing oil. The charge of the entire Mishkan and all of that is in it, of the holy and its furnishings. Numbers 4:16. We see a split, again, between the carrying of the menorah, which is Kohath, and the carrying of the oil, Eleazar. There's another split, and it's also in the subject of olives. In this case, olive trees and olives. In our daily daf, in a halacha that is illustrated in the Mishnah at the bottom of Bamidbar 100b. This is it. The Mishnah says, Shataf Nahar Zesav, Unisanam Lusoch Sedeh Chavero, Ze Omer Zesi Gedelu, Ze Omer Artzi Gedela. Yachloku. In a rare event, it just says in an event, but if a river swept away, I added those words, a rare event, because it's highly unlikely that this would happen, but if a river swept away someone's olive trees and deposited them in the field of another, and they took root there and yielded olives, this one, meaning the owner of the trees, says, my olive trees yielded the olives, so I have a right to them. And that one, the owner of the field, says, the nourishment of my land yielded the olives. So I have a right to them. So the Mishnah says, Yachaloku. You divide them between. Because both actually happened. Both were contributed to the growth of the olives. In such a rare and outlandish case, for olive trees to become uprooted and transported by a river and become replanted in another's field in such conditions that it yielded fruit, and neither party said anything until the olives came forth. So just imagine that. A tree is being uprooted by a river. I don't even know if a river is so powerful enough to do that, but let's just say it did. And transported the tree in such a way that it could grow and yielded fruit, and neither party said anything. It's almost like 99% impossible. But let's just say it was. Neither party said anything until the olives came forth. Maybe perhaps this case never actually occurred in history. But in a very timely manner, it actually found itself in our Parshah, on our daily daf, which makes a reference in some way to the division of the olives, the trees, and the land. This parallels the division between the carrying of the menorah, about which the term, much like a tree, is used in the Torah, in the verses. Don't remember the whole verse, but it says pracheha, the flowers, and the poles that for lighting the lamps of the menorah are referred to as branches. It's like a tree. So there's a division between the menorah and the oil carrying, and now there's a division between the trees, between the people. But it happened in this week's portion is what I'm focusing on. It's just to underscore, it's just to focus on the timely manner of when different aspects of Torah come together. In the Mishnah, the word Yachaloku, of course, we have to say Gematria about this, because then it's called the realm of Gematria for a reason. We have to bring in the realm of Gematria. In the Mishnah, the word Yachaloku, the word that means they split it, a reference to dividing of the olives, and by comparison, the division of responsibilities mentioned in our Parsha, has a numerical value of 160, which is the exact numerical value of the word eitz, which means tree. A literal reference to the trees in our Mishnah, the olive trees, and a possible, albeit a little bit more distant, but still a possible reference and comparison to a menorah, which has branches and flowers, which can be compared to a tree. And it also uses olive oil to burn brightly. Have a great Shabbos.